I heard you calling on.
The Balenciaga show in Paris was supposed to be Meghan Markle's glorious moment. Like seriously her big "I'm back" energy. Picture this, flashing cameras everywhere, stylists whispering behind their clipboards, and the front row sparkling with the biggest names. Kim Kardashian, Naomi Campbell, the elite of the elite. Meghan had everything planned down to the last detail. She came ready to slay, but oh, the universe had other plans. That night, which was meant to be her smooth re-entry into fashion royalty, turned into one of the juiciest, most talked about disasters of Paris Fashion Week. And no, it wasn't because of her outfit or a wardrobe malfunction. It was because of something far less expected. Right there, in the middle of couture and champagne, her oldest friend, the famously mysterious Markus Anderson, let something slip. A single moment that turned a harmless fashion moment into a full-blown gossip explosion, all because of Meghan Markle's laugh.
Least to see Meghan Markle pop up at the Balenciaga fashion show. Now, Rebecca, this was a significant moment for Meghan, wasn't it? Significant.
And not just any laugh. Oh no, it was that laugh. The high-pitched, finely practiced giggle Meghan does when she's trying to charm everyone in the room. You've probably heard it a million times before, in podcast snippets, on awkward red carpet interviews, the one that's just a little too polished to be spontaneous. But on this night, in the thick air of Parisian fashion perfection, that giggle sliced through the room like nails on a chalkboard, loud, forced, and so painfully mistimed that people actually flinched.
Be noted, Kinsey, that
eyewitnesses swear it happened right in the middle of Balenciaga's finale walk, the exact moment when the only thing anyone's supposed to look at is the clothes. But Meghan? She tilted her head back, laughing at whatever Markus had whispered in her ear. The cameras snapped, influencers whipped their heads around, and in seconds, the moment was everywhere online. Meghan Markle, laughing like she just heard a stand-up set at one of fashion's most exclusive runways, and right beside her, Markus Anderson, the same man who'd been by her side through everything, from introducing her to Prince Harry to crafting that polished Hollywood network around her. But here's where the plot twist hits, because only hours later, Markus became the source of the story. According to multiple insiders whispering to Deux Moi and Page 6, Markus was overheard at the Balenciaga after-party roasting Meghan's laugh. One witness said he laughed and told stylist, "I swear she practices that laugh in the mirror." Another insider swore Markus joked that Meghan's laugh was so loud the models lost their stride.
That caters to celebrity royals and high-profile elite.
At first, everyone assumed he was just being cheeky, friendly banter. But then someone posted that little comment online, captioning it, "Even her best friend is over it." And that was all it took. Within hours, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram had exploded. Edits of Meghan's laugh were everywhere. Someone even looped it over the Balenciaga runway soundtrack. By morning, the entire fashion world had seen it. Headlines screamed things like "cringe confidence" and "Paris rolls its eyes at Meghan's Hollywood energy." What had started as a glossy, carefully planned PR moment crumbled overnight. And the cruelest part? Markus Anderson, the man who had spent almost a decade helping Meghan sculpt her image, was suddenly the one fueling the fire. According to people close to her, Meghan was gutted. She had flown to Paris with her stylist, a mini entourage, and a dream of redemption. After the Netflix mess, the Spotify fallout, and the relentless press, this was supposed to be the moment she reminded the world who she was. Chic, elegant, untouchable. But now, instead of Vogue covers and glowing reviews, every headline was about her laugh, her awkward vibe, and whispers that even Markus was backing away. One Balenciaga team insider even spilled to Grazia that Meghan tried too hard to be noticed. And honestly, Paris hates that. The city thrives on mystery, on effortless cool. If you look like you're trying, you've already lost. And Markus's loose tongue didn't stop at the laugh. Oh no, it got messier. At least 2 guests claimed Markus hinted Meghan had begged to sit front row. She apparently wasn't even on the first guest list. Markus called in favors to get her that seat, one publicist told the Daily Mail. But backstage, people were rolling their eyes. Within 24 hours, the narrative was set in stone online. Meghan forced her way into Balenciaga's front row, made a spectacle of herself, and even her best friend was tired of covering for her.
To say the least, to see Meghan Markle pop up at the Balenciaga fashion show. Now, Rebecca, this was a significant moment for Meghan, wasn't it? Significant appearance.
It was a significant.
Behind those filtered smiles and glossy Insta posts, the tension was reportedly through the roof. Sources said Meghan confronted Markus in her hotel room that night after hearing what he'd said. She was furious, crying, completely blindsided. Markus tried to brush it off as a joke. It was just banter, he told her, but she wasn't laughing anymore. She accused him of ruining what was supposed to be her night, her carefully crafted comeback.
Disposable Friends series, because Marcus is indispensable.
And here's why this cut so deep. Marcus wasn't some random friend. He was her person, the one who'd been around since the early Suits days, before palaces, crowns, and royal titles. The one who taught her how to navigate London's elite circles and handle the ruthless royal social web. So to hear him mocking her, even if casually, felt like a betrayal with no coming back. And to make it worse, invitations that had once landed in her lap suddenly vanished. No Dior, no Valentino. Insiders whispered Paris had gone icy after Balenciaga. She was too loud for the room, one stylist told W. Paris is about subtlety. Meghan came in with Hollywood energy and left as a meme. By the time she flew back to Montecito, the video had millions of views. Influencers were mocking her giggle. Late-night hosts were slipping in punchlines. The New York Post headline screamed, "From Duchess to Diva, Meghan's laugh heard around the world."
Markle, okay, the disaster tourist is back with a vengeance. She was in Paris over the weekend attending the Balenciaga fashion show.
And if all of this wasn't brutal enough, Harry's reaction reportedly made it sting more. One source said he was frustrated but distant, telling her to just ignore it, that it was the same cruel media circus. But Meghan couldn't ignore it. She felt like the entire world was laughing at her, not with her. Behind closed doors, everything began to crack. Marcus disappeared from her inner circle. Coffee dates with Soho House friends faded. Calls went unanswered. This wasn't about a laugh anymore. It was about image, loyalty, and power. Meghan had spent years controlling every headline, every photo, every soundbite. But this time, one sound she couldn't control, her own laugh, had spun the world against her. And as Marcus quietly rewrote his role in her story, Paris fell silent. Meghan Markle had gone from surprise guest to punchline. And even her legendary PR reflexes weren't fast enough to put this fire out.
The lies just keep coming.
Yeah,
from
so
this dude.
Marcus obviously has been the catalyst to all these connections Meghan had, even after.
Markus Anderson, the man who used to clean up her messes before anyone saw them, had now, intentionally or not, become the mess. And the worst part? He didn't even seem bothered. While Meghan stayed locked in her Hotel Costas penthouse, reportedly sobbing and begging her team to bury the clip before it made morning TV, Marcus was spotted the very next day at Café de Flore, calm, smiling, lunching with Vogue Paris journalists. When asked if he regretted his comments, he just smirked and said, "Darling, if you can't laugh at yourself in this business, you're finished." Boom, that line detonated like a gossip bomb. Elegant shade, the kind of subtle burn Paris fashion lives for. Inside Meghan's camp, panic turned to fury. He wasn't just some acquaintance. Marcus had been her connector, her bridge into the world she'd fought so hard to enter. So when he started hinting she didn't fit anymore, it was like losing a friend and her status in one blow. What followed wasn't some sleek PR maneuver. It was a full-on meltdown dressed up as damage control. Meghan's team scrambled, calling Balenciaga and begging for contextual footage. Basically, they wanted to re-edit the viral clip to make it seem like she'd been laughing at something totally charming, not like some loud, awkward outburst. They planned to spin it as Meghan just having a lighthearted moment in the glitzy fashion atmosphere. But Balenciaga wasn't having it. One insider apparently shut it down flat. "It's not our job to babysit celebrity reputations. Brutal, cold, Parisian, and that's when it hit her. Hollywood might pretend to play nice, but the fashion world? Oh, it's ice cold. It keeps score." Meghan had already been wobbling on that fragile pedestal ever since her archetypes flop and that awkward attempt to relaunch her image through American Riviera orchard. Now the Balenciaga fiasco painted her as, in the words floating around Vogue's hallways, "try hard." Anna Wintour's crowd doesn't forgive try hard. They ignore it into oblivion. Meanwhile, Marcus? Oh, he was doing the opposite of damage control. He leaned right into it. He floated through after-parties like a man who'd just become more interesting overnight. He even dropped the laugh casually in conversations like it was some inside joke. One stylist claims he said, "She means well, but she doesn't read the room." Paris isn't Montecito. That one sentence became the gospel of the moment. Every fashion outlet, from Days to The Cut, picked it up. Paris isn't Montecito was suddenly trending on X, with users memeing Meghan's look, her posture, her vibe, everything. Back in Montecito, Meghan was reportedly livid. She was convinced Marcus had done this on purpose, turning a private moment into his personal PR weapon. One insider whispered that she called him a snake, accusing him of using her for years to climb into the highest circles, then cutting her loose the second it benefited him. But maybe it wasn't some evil master plan. Maybe Marcus was just done cleaning up after her. For years, he'd been her silent fixer, smoothing awkward encounters, arranging invitations, making things disappear before they turned into headlines. And then in Paris, He simply didn't. He let the mask slip, and that hurt her more than any meme ever could. The fallout was instant. Invitations dried up. Brands that had once flirted with partnering on her lifestyle line suddenly went quiet. Vogue's post-Fashion Week coverage, usually a battlefield of names and power plays, didn't even mention her. Not one photo, not one line. It was as if Meghan Markle had never even sat in that front row. Markus, on the other hand, oh, he was everywhere. Fashion insiders whispered that Balenciaga actually loved the attention. Markus was cheeky, witty, and just the right kind of scandalous. The type of insider the fashion world eats up like caviar. Markus, meanwhile, kept his lips sealed. No apologies, no clarifications, which ironically made him seem cooler in that ruthless world. His silence screamed power. The message was loud and clear. Markus was still at the table. Meghan wasn't. Behind closed doors, she tried to fix it. She reportedly sent Markus a long, desperate message. Part apology, part accusation. She said she didn't deserve to be humiliated by someone who knew her best. He never replied. Instead, he just quietly unfollowed her on Instagram. And just like that, a friendship that had survived years of palace drama ended not with a bang, but with an unfollow. And here's the twisted irony, that one laugh didn't just expose Meghan. It exposed the cracks in everything she'd built, her carefully crafted image, her power in Hollywood, her ties to the fashion elite. It all unraveled around that one sound that echoed too loudly in Paris. She had built her world on poise and controlled charm. But Paris? Paris doesn't care about charm, it wants mystique. And mystique doesn't laugh too loud. Now, months later, the moment still lingers like perfume after a party. Whenever Meghan shows up anywhere, someone always whispers, "Don't laugh too loud." And when Markus takes his seat in some fashion front row, there's always a smirk, a murmur, "That's the guy who called her out." Two people tied forever to one night in Paris. Two sides of a fallen friendship. Meghan now trying to rebrand again. Markus basking in his new, unfiltered insider aura. The Balenciaga show was supposed to be her grand rebirth. Instead, it became the scene of her public undoing, set to the sound of a laugh she can't take back. Because in the icy halls of high fashion, authenticity, even when it cuts, always wins. And this time, Markus Anderson's silence spoke louder than Meghan Markle's laugh ever could.